This villain named mamamax was recently ostracized from the internet because he had become the very cult leader that he had sought to destroy. That is a bit of hyperbole, but it's kind of true. It's getting really strange out here. YouTube is not what it used to be, my friends. And it made my pee-pee hurt. mamamax, if you don't know, has spent years of his life on YouTube chasing down predators and exposing them on the internet. But over time, while doing this, he kind of slowly, it seems, started to sip the ego Kool-Aid and developed a bit of a hero complex or a messiah complex, whatever you want to call it, and shit has hit the proverbial fan. The truth would come out that mamamax would make claims that predators were caught, or he would
make claims that predators were caught. Autobots roll out.
But he recently admitted in a now deleted video that he just faked his videos and they were real. It was like just all fiction. It was works of fiction. Even though they were based on real life predators, it was crafted in fictionalized stories around them. Insane, absolutely insane, mind-bogglingly crazy shit, TBH. And there has been so much more stuff that has come out over the last few days that is interesting enough, in my opinion, for me to make another video delving back into this, because I put my video together before I saw Nicholas Dorio's and Mudahar's videos, and they had a lot more juicy shit in theirs, TBH. So go ahead and watch theirs and lyrics as well. By the way, serious topic, so I guess we should have a trigger warning. I'm gonna try to skate around the really serious stuff, as that is not what I do necessarily on my channel. I try to be as entertaining as possible, and this whole event is insane, and I think it does a good job of bridging the gap between serious and entertaining, and also important to learn about and be aware of, just in case you are prone to falling victim to the things that people say online. Don't trust creators or influencers. So on top of just admitting that he fakes his videos and crafts false narratives for, I guess, entertainment or whatever, this man also loves just defaming people that he has no proof of, nor will he provide proof of them being what he says that they are. There's a fellow, Camden Gerard Davis. I'm not even sure if I should be saying his name at this point, but he called this dude a fucking werewolf vampire sex cult leader and then just refused to provide evidence, which is the most baller shit I've ever seen in my life. Imagine just calling someone that and then refusing to provide any sort of evidence at all. Another thing my team noticed when going back through the brainwash your favorite influencers video, which is this epic piece of artwork or whatever it is. There's a little chunk that sped up in the beginning that says the following.
You are encouraged to upload this video to other platforms. Keep all the money and views. Just spread the message. For legal reasons, the story, all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, buildings, and products is intended or should be inferred.
It's you're calling out a guy though that you're saying is a you're throwing out serious accusations at a guy that you say runs a sex cult or whatever, a werewolf, a nymph cult. I'm not sure even at this point. He's just trying to protect himself, I guess, for legal reasons. That isn't how that works. That's like that copyright thing. Putting a fair use statement at the beginning of a video is not going to prevent you from getting your video taken down. It doesn't magically not violate the law just because you have a disclaimer saying that it doesn't magically violate the law now. Beyond this, the worst part of the whole situation is the inarguable weaponization of his audience to pursue vigilante interests at the result of making fake fictional stories. This guy's just making shit up, but then there is real-world consequences to this. For example, he uploaded an entire video encouraging his viewers to go after other creators and pressure them into covering the supernatural sex cult. And if they didn't do so, they would be the victim in his next video, and they would be shamed for not letting Max use their platforms as blind obedience and you know, the cult, the mamamax cult, or whatever. There's more to speak on this later. This guy, he really has a big head. I mean, like physically and also hypothetically or figuratively. That's what it is. Oh my god, man, he's got a lot of just he's got a big ego. The stuff that was leaked that he said about Critical is mind-boggling. He also did the apology video, which we covered in the last video. It's not even really an apology video. He didn't take any accountability. He titled it that, but there was not very much accountability taken. Instead, he just kept repeating the same topics and talking about Camden and how he wanted help spreading the message. It was the same shit, just like slightly different packaging. He's been pretty effectively shunned by the community. By the way, he's lost a lot of subscribers and his video views have gone down a lot. And by that, I mean, he's deleted a lot of his videos or privated them, I guess. Even the Twitter that he made for victims of Camden to come forward and reach out to him and contact him for some reason, it's being ratioed online by people who are dissatisfied. Take this for example. I love the quotes. No one is buying your shit anymore. That's great and all, but what if Max Striker was a survivor of being turned black or Chinese? If you were a survivor of Camden Gerard, the completionist Davis, please let me ratio the sky above. That's so up. It seems like Max has kind of begun his villain arc, genuinely. I don't want to see this. I don't like this. He seemed like a really good guy. I've known him for a while. I guess I don't like personally know him, but I've known of him and I've watched the stuff that he's made for quite a long time. It has been cringe from the very beginning, but I was under the impression that it was doing good. So it's like, okay, this is just art, you know, it's some weird art shit I don't understand because I'm from Virginia and stuff. And I have a lot of firearms and problems with being sincere, and was diagnosed with Asperger's as a child. All this stuff's come out and he's become a bit of a pariah of the internet. He privated all his videos, like I mentioned. You can watch re-uploads of them, obviously, if you want. But his most recent video came out 7 months ago. One of the main points of contention from his original videos that are now deleted was the hard-on that Max had for Charlie, or Moist Critical, to cover the Camden situation. Max called him out for not giving him the attention that he felt entitled to, or whatever, for the victims, whatever the way he wanted to spin it. He threw a legitimate tantrum and then actually apologized to Charlie in his apology video, which was good. But Charlie was basically the only person that was named when apologizing.
I'm sorry to Charlie for dragging him into a case that is not necessarily his fight.
And by the way, tantrum, pretty legit. Check this out. Vince Vintage, a friend of the show, posted this to his Twitter, an unreleased edit of one of Max's videos. And this is a legitimate supervillain monologue moment. This shit is so golden.
I could literally cancel you, Charlie. I could literally cancel you. And I choose not to.
I've never taken myself this seriously a single time in my whole fucking life. This is insane.
I could literally cancel you, Joey. I could literally cancel you. But I choose not to. I'm the freaking pedo hunter.
He's the pedo hunter. He's the pedo hunter. He's the fucking... Don't you know, Charlie? Don't you know? How naive could you be? By the way, how embarrassing is that? There's a lot of stuff that I say that would be really embarrassing if it got leaked or whatever by my editors, but I can confidently say nothing even comes close to that. It would just be me fucking saying mad words. You bunch of not actually. There's also the same clip here released by Slug, Max's editor, with the face cam. Check this out.
I could literally cancel you. And I choose not to. It's true though. It's the truth. Like, I'm the friggin' pedo hunter.
It's so hard to take this seriously. Now, by the way, just so you know, I'm making jokes and shit. This is a really serious thing. It has become very unserious. It has become insane, villain, weird, larger than life type shit that's impossible to relate to. I cannot actually imagine being someone who is a victim of anything related to this and how this could ever possibly have a positive outcome. Not my video or Mudahar's video or Nicholas DeOrio, but the freaking pedo hunter. How could that ever be a positive association? And this has all become a big joke because it's so absurd and it's just a dude's ego now. That's what it's about. Not victims, not justice, bro ego. So Max's editor, Slug, I think that is his real God-given name, is the sources of this clip and a bunch of other insane clips. Slug live streamed himself going through the footage after he quit working for mamamax, and then also uploaded the face cam footage to his channel. If you guys want to go check that out, feel free. I probably won't remember to put a link down below, or the link guy that I have that puts links down below probably won't remember, but maybe, we'll see. Another thing that Max does in this recording is compare himself to CoffeeZilla because neither of them take sponsorships, which automatically makes, it makes you sort of more of a moral authority. It sets you apart, genuinely. I'm not even being ironic. When you don't take sponsorships or money from anyone, you don't have to, alter your words, whatever. Say what you will, it doesn't really matter in my opinion, but in the case of CoffeeZilla, I think he truly has the high ground 99.99% of the time. He deserves it. He's a humble, guy with a lot of humility. I've met him in real life. He's a great guy. I wouldn't consider him anything like mamamax.
I don't take sponsors. We are viewer supported. So if you want to and are able to, thank you. Either way.
This is the same thing I do. Interesting. I don't take sponsorships either, CoffeeZilla.
I don't either. Have a conversation with me. Just one conversation is all I'm asking. 15 minutes of your time. That's all I'm asking.
He also talks about Jack's films covering Sniper Wolf. He says that Jack was able to have his movement to cancel Sniper Wolf, and it is now his turn, mamamax's turn, that is.
But hey, he got his movement. It's my turn now. It's my turn, Jack's film. It's my movement now, okay? You got to cancel Sniper Wolf. Good for you. Okay, all right, cool. All right, but I'm trying to do my own movement.
And there's face cam footage of that. I just, so weird. By the way, anything private pertaining to Max's Discord, I'm going to heavily redact because he's allegedly been striking down channels for copy or privacy violations, which I completely understand that. This is private people, private Discord, totally cool. We can show what's being said, but we can't show who it's from. But you can probably guess. It seems like the power that Max seemed to think that he had has absolutely 100% unequivocally gone to his large head. And it's horrible to say this, but at this point, we have more evidence against mamamax that sort of derails everything he's ever done and everything he has to say, and also more evidence of Spencer being predatory than we do of Camden Gerard Davis being a vampire werewolf cult leader. By the way, if a bunch of evidence comes out, I will gladly retract that. But up until this point, we've seen nothing, and there's been plenty of opportunities. One really important thing to mention is that there are plenty of accusations. You can just talk about stuff. If it's just hearsay, it doesn't, it's not true. There has to be actual, real legitimate evidence. You can't just say something happened, provide no proof, and then expect everyone to believe that it happened. That is what the basis of all of Max's content is. There are people who say bad things about Max, not comparing these necessarily to his, but there are some aspects to be compared in terms of just allegations and negative things being said, people claiming that Max has abused them in the past. There's a fella named Magnetar on YouTube who posted a video called The Truth About mamamax. It's a re-upload. You guys can check that out if you want. At this point, there is just as much water to be held in that video than there is in anything that Max has ever posted, and it is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'm not going to go too into detail of it, but the video tells the stories of 3 women and their experiences with Max. The stories range all sorts of types of abuse from Max, going all the way back to 2013. The big similarity between Max and this video is the fact that Magnetar, aka Anthony, shares at the beginning that he is dating one of the girls in the video.
Hello all. For those of you that are regulars to this channel, you know me as Magnetar. For everybody that's new here, specifically for this video, my name is Anthony. I am the same Anthony that is dating Haley, one of the 3 women in this particular video that is sharing her experiences with mamamax.
And Max is dating Spencer, the girl that he's championing and doing. It's just, this whole thing is so wild and sickening. I recommend going and watching Magnetar's video if you really want to learn more about that potential situation. But once again, all this stuff is just allegations. There's no, proof, evidence. There's no damning things. There is a bit of water to be held in this video though, because the claim in the description is that it was taken down in result of a privacy complaint. In the video now, we have email exchanges shared by Magnetar's attorney along with Max's legal team. It's a fucking wild ride. Allegations, stories aside, this is real, actual written stuff that we can digest and then form our opinions based upon. Max's team accuses Magnetar of defamation, harassment, and stalking, which is pretty ironic because that's what Max is being accused of. Here are some outlandish examples of hypocrisy, though. Max's team explains that Magnetar created and published a defamatory video in which he spreads false and harmful information. That being said, Max has literally admitted to telling fake stories about real people, predators or not. He just accused this fella in Camden of a great many things and then provided 0 evidence. That's like the perfect example of defamation. By the way, I fucking hate files. And I think there should be a death penalty, and they should be burned and eliminated or whatever the you want to think. I have no qualms with getting rid of these people. I just think that this is not a good way to do it. And this is really bad and poisons the well and throws the baby out with the bathwater and all that shit. They accuse Magnetar of doxing Max and releasing personally identifiable information on a couple different platforms, which is literally what Max and his audience does to Camden's family on live streams. We've seen workplaces, full addresses, names. That's all personally identifying information. They say that Magnetar is attempting to further defame our client through social media channels and multiple YouTubers. Again, hypocrisy. This is exactly what Max does. He tried to cancel Critical because he didn't baselessly cover a story with no compelling evidence. And this is the same shit. Max's lawyer then finishes the list with reaching out to clients, peers, friends, family, and ex-partners in an effort to acquire personal information about him. This is literally what he does all the time. He does this shit. And by the way, I'm not using this to say one person is worse or worse than the other because we have, no real truth. It's just this is real evidence of massive hypocrisy. That's the point. I don't know if anything in Magnetar's video is true. I'm not going to stand on that hill. You guys can check it out if you want. A lot of it is defamatory, I would agree. But also what Max is doing is defamatory as well. Take a guess as to how mamamax's legal team finishes this section before moving on to the demands of the legal team, the completely real legal team. They claim that Max has looked into Magnetar and Anthony and exposed his predatory behavior towards minors in a response video with substantial evidence and witnesses ready to testify in court against him. Holy shit, what a great way to get people to shut the fuck up and stop defaming you, discrediting your critics by alleging their files and then threatening them. The demands, they're not super important. It's just what you'd expect. Delete the video, apologize, etc., etc. What's interesting to me is the fact that the email is signed off with not a lawyer's name or a law firm like generally is expected when you have a real life lawyer, but mamamax legal team. Max does seem to think that ChatGPT can give you great legal advice. He heard probably that ChatGPT passed the bar, which is true. I mean, a lot of legal stuff is written down and AI can rationalize almost as well as a human being for things like maybe NDAs and like work agreements and simple notes and things that there's a lot of templates for online, etc. We know that he has used ChatGPT for things like NDAs, according to his ex-editor Slug.
You can threaten to sue me all you want. You will lose in court because I have not broken anything in that NDA. ChatGPT doesn't know what the it's talking about, dude.
And then we have a response from Magnetar's lawyers, real actual lawyers who f***ing destroy him.
Are you unable to correspond with an anonymous party claiming to be your legal representative? An attorney must identify themselves per ethical guidelines of the profession in all jurisdictions. While individuals have the legal right to represent themselves, to hold oneself as an attorney on behalf of another without admission to the bar is an unauthorized practice of law. In the absence of an identified attorney, I will operate under the presumption that Mr. Stryker is not represented by counsel in this matter.
Which means he's stupid. Shit. By the way, this dude got his channel and this video has so many dislikes because at the time all this came out, nobody was on Magnetar's side. Max was still at kind of like the forefront. This was pre-cringe. This was during the cringe, but it was like before all the big cringe came out, which has happened recently. Yeah, this whole fucking thing is absolutely insane. If Max wants us to believe him and to believe Spencer without any sort of evidence being made public or any sort of reality added to a situation that is admittedly false and fake, then we should also believe Haley, Lucy, and Olivia without any evidence from them. But at least they just have, more than one or two images to show of some fucking random guy with long teeth. Another behavior that is seemingly now a pattern for Max and his lackeys is taking down of videos and content that is critical of him. People have been leaking his private Discord, like I mentioned earlier, and we're doing our best to kind of censor that and respect people's privacy. And also, I don't want to get my shit taken down, to be honest, because it's a pain in the ass to deal with that shit, and it's fucking, the system doesn't work very well. He's getting away with doing this because he's been trying to get people to join this server after they've signed NDAs. By the way, NDA, very, very, very loose. It's a Discord NDA. I signed one. Check this out. It's just a like NDA that's not even real. Please attach a picture of your written name, signature, and today's date. I didn't do it. I feel like my responses were pretty good, and this was before all the shit was coming out. I said, I like it, man. Not sure how to assist with the view. It's very different from anything I've ever done. It's sort of difficult still to see exactly the point. Feels like an ARG, but it is good as fuck. It was cringe. You were just trying to get Charlie's attention, question mark?
I'm trying to...
Dynamics like drama, which I believe sidetracks us. Charlie's reach makes him an ideal partner in this effort. His involvement could be a game changer in turning attention to action. Do you know the best way to engage him to show the impact it could have? I'm not really sure. Potentially showing him all the data, like evidence. He's getting bombarded daily with things that people claim are important and worthy of his time. This might be something he'd let the proper authorities handle. I'm really not sure. I'm open to sharing all the relevant information with him, which is why I sought a dialogue at the conclusion of the video. I do recognize his busy schedule and the high volume of information he receives. I do not enjoy adding to that burden. However, my commitment to advocating for child survivors compels me to continue this effort for justice. Regrettably, despite my reporting for the appropriate authorities and presenting considerable evidence, there have been no action taken. This reflects a wider issue that is more common than we realize. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a tough one to swing. Absolutely, it's been challenging, but it's essential. Any insights or advice for me going forward? What about working with an existing group for child safety? A group that might have pre-existing connections to feds that are more willing to help. Or don't do any of that. Not going to be sharing people's usernames, obviously, because I don't want to get anyone in trouble or hurt anyone's feelings or whatever, or something, you know, like that. Also, these people faked that they were victims to get into these discords, which is super up, but he's gatekeeping this whole thing real weird, like a real weird culty type way. So I'm also pro leaking all this stuff in the server. So this fella P slides into R's DMs and says that they are a victim of Camden and they don't want to be harassed like the other victims. They ask about joining a server that Max has where they can share their story and be safe. Not sure how they didn't see through this. Just pretty blatant, clear lie, especially with kind of everything going on lately. He just wanted to leak it, which is insane. Now we get some serious DMs showing P's horrible intentions. And the fact that this screenshot exists is disgusting, but it should be talked about. P is just trying to relate to someone who genuinely has problems and is doing so by crafting lies to get into the Max Discord, which is so unbelievably fucked up. This is where things take a massive turn for the dark side. I'm not even sure if I want to even show this, but essentially this person R is actually caring about P, the person faking their shit to get into Max's Discord to expose all this stuff. And the reality is that Max's community is made up of people who have damage and who have gone through a lot of horrible things. Genuine victims. He has attracted a lot of victims. And maybe this idea of having a community like this is a good idea and these people can sort of share their stories with each other and it's awesome. It's not something for me to talk about, I don't think. But the fact that it's Max's community and he is this guy that just sort of makes fake shit and lies is not good. Knowing that he's using these people for content is not good to me. I don't think that they're should be this. I think there should be a massive separation between these people and Max. They need justice. They don't need fucking some random dumbass cringe YouTube video. There's a lot of communication. This fella P really truly is in the RP mindset. It's disgusting. Honestly, I don't want to show you guys any of it. They're just lying about shit, lying about having PTSD and all sorts of stuff and taking advantage of S, I guess. You guys know who S is. Then we get to M's DMs with P. P is a piece of shit. I'm just gonna be honest. If all the stuff's lies, this is fucking insane. So after a bunch of lies and a bunch of fucked up shit, P signs the NDA allegedly to join Max's Discord. I'm not exactly sure. It's horrible, dude. This whole thing is insane. There's so many just fucking disgusting lies to get to this point. It's insane. There's a ton of stuff here, so I'm just going to grab things that I want to talk about. One screenshot shows the people of the Discord directly lying about the point of a video, saying it was all because Mutahar didn't cover the story. That obviously is not the truth. If you watch the video, it points out him lying with falsified evidence and skirting around real issues, but they just dumbed it down for their community to say that it was simply Mutahar not covering the story, which is just simply not true. There are instances of people sharing their concern with the way that Max is handling the situation in the server, which is completely valid, but then this fellow says that he is not obligated to talk to anyone. The blurred survivors in regard to all this stuff are talking about how they don't like the lies and misinformation that's being spread about them and that they shouldn't share anything right now. One survivor even talks about just taking all the videos down and starting from a clean slate since all this stuff's happening, which in my opinion, that's great advice. Start over and be honest and transparent and approach this in a different way. People will forgive you. I mean, nobody dislikes this. They dislike the ego shit. Nobody wants survivors to be silenced. Nobody wants files to not be caught and go, justice. Nobody wants that, right? There has been a lot of damage that has been done, but in my opinion, I think this could all be sort of overturned with honesty and transparency and evidence. Max does seem to agree with this, and he says that he'll do what's necessary right now to protect everyone. He's willing to stay low, etc., 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 which is great. That's a good sign. Max rushes to Spencer's side, stating that the community is full of self-serving public figures like myself, trying to farm content off of suffering, which, I mean, that's got to be the most ironic shit I've ever seen in my entire life. This is that though. This is what mamamax is doing. This is what the God cult is doing. This is what all this stuff is. Rushing out content without proper evidence to farm Patreon subs and support, not letting the law handle this or whatever. Again, I want to point out that the dude who leaked all this shit is a fucking absolute asshole, and they're doing this shit for cult clout. Sorry, little Freud there. I think it is good that they shared some information from the server, and it shows how unsafe of an environment that all of this is brewed up. There's also this fucking video as well, which is mind-boggling. I need to really emphasize that. We don't know 100% if this is real because it's just another leak, but check this shit out from Max. Spencer and I are considering a class action lawsuit against Mutahar for breaching our non-disclosure agreement, inciting harassment on live streams, defamation, and causing emotional distress. He's extremely rich, so the lawsuit seeks $1 million in damages to be distributed between all of you. All you have to do is testify against him, particularly regarding his actions, not speaking to any of you about the evidence and the impact his behavior has had on you. Spencer has agreed to be the lead plaintiff, and I'll do all of the hard work. Please let us know if you're interested. This could have a huge impact on the case against Camden. And then this guy said, dude, no, can this stop? Everything has come fucking crashing down. It is insane. Imagine just it's just stuff like that that makes it seem like none of this ever had anything to do with survivors or victims or anything. It's just like weird money and power and posturing and just weird clout YouTube shit. It's all lame, dude. mamamax had it all though. He went from hero to zero. He had the support of an entire massive community and pretty much lost it all because he, was just dishonest or appears greatly dishonest. That's what people believe. That's what I believe. I don't know what he's doing. He's deleting his videos. I don't know what the reason is. Guilt, anger. I'm not sure. I assume he's going to have some kind of response soon. Anyways, what do you guys think? You think Max is finished? You think he's on a comeback? You think he's going to begin his comeback arc? Comment down below what you think.